According to a recent report by the National Bureau of Economic Research entitled "What Should I Be When I Grow Up?", young workers ages 20 to 24 are nearly 3 times as likely as workers ages 45 to 54 to leave a job within a year. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the CEO of the American Society of Employers, Mary Corrado. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So that just sounds so terrible. These poor young people, millennials, that's sort of the generation, leaving jobs, job hopping, but that's really not the case. Is it something that those 50-year-olds were doing when they were that age too?
Yes. And first let's define what a millennial is. So a millennial is someone that was born between 1980 and 2000. So that's the group of generation we're talking about. In 2014, the average employee turnover was 4.6 years. In 1998, the average employee turnover was 3.6 years. So we're actually doing better. Now, the younger workforce does change over more often than older workers, but that's more just due to workforce shifts. I mean, this is a group of workforce generation that they're trying to find what they like, they're trying to find what they're good at. They've also got a lot of uncertainty. They may have just graduated from school, they may be getting married, having children, changing where they live. So all of these things play a factor in how long they may stay at an employer as well.
How does that information, whether they, how long they're going to stay on a job, help perhaps employers who are looking to really, certainly in the next few years, that's going to be their workforce, right? These young millennials, that's who they're going to be looking to employ.
Correct. 25% of these millennials are in the workforce in North America right now. That number is going to jump to 75% in 10 years, in 2025. So it's going to be imperative for employers to be able to engage this workforce so that they can fill that talent pipeline shortage we're going to see when the baby boomers retire.
And what should they be, how should they be recruiting? What should they be offering? What should they be doing, saying to make their jobs really look pleasing and like somewhere that these millennials would like to work?
Well, millennials grew up in a little bit of a different generation than the boomers did. This was a generation that grew up with technology, so they're extremely technology savvy. They grew up in a social environment. They are the most highly educated workforce that we'll see, and they also strive for recognition. So when we talk to employers, what they need to do to engage this workforce, they need to provide clear career paths for them. They need to provide development opportunities, job shadowing, job rotation, mentoring, coaching. They need to make sure they're providing social activities, because this is a very social generation, and provide them with flexibility. But none of these are things that we didn't all want as well. So it's not anything different per se than what we've seen in the generations that came before them.
Well, it sounds like while millennials have been getting a lot of negative publicity, they're really kind of a good workforce that you should want to get your hands on.
Highly educated, highly entrepreneurial. Employers need to leverage that.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Interesting. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Mary Corrado, the CEO of the American Society of Employers.